When Albert Einstein said, "Blind obedience to authority is the greatest enemy of the truth," he was expressing a powerful idea that remains relevant in every generation. These words are not simply a criticism of authority, they are a warning about what happens when people stop thinking for themselves. Throughout history, many of humanity's greatest mistakes have occurred because individuals chose obedience over truth, conformity over questioning, and fear over independent thought. Authority exists in many forms. It can be a government, a leader, a teacher, a religious figure, a company, or even popular public opinion. Authority itself is not necessarily harmful. In fact, societies need laws, institutions, and leadership to function effectively. The danger begins when people accept every instruction, belief, or decision without questioning it. Blind obedience means following orders simply because they come from someone in power, regardless of whether those orders are right or wrong. Truth, on the other hand, requires curiosity, evidence, and the courage to ask difficult questions. Truth often challenges accepted beliefs. It forces people to examine assumptions and sometimes admit that they were wrong. This process can be uncomfortable because questioning authority may create conflict or uncertainty. However, without questioning, progress becomes impossible. History provides countless examples of individuals who challenged authority in pursuit of truth. Scientists, reformers, and thinkers frequently faced opposition because their discoveries contradicted accepted beliefs. New ideas were often rejected not because they were false, but because they threatened established systems of power. Yet many of these ideas eventually transformed the world. Scientific advancement, social reform, and human rights movements all depended on people who were willing to question what they were told. Einstein himself understood this principle deeply. As a scientist, he knew that knowledge grows through inquiry, observation, and evidence. Science does not advance by blindly accepting existing theories. It advances when people test assumptions, challenge accepted ideas, and seek better explanations. If scientists simply accepted every established belief without question, many of the discoveries that shape modern life would never have occurred. The importance of independent thinking extends beyond science. In everyday life, people often face pressure to conform. Families, workplaces, communities, and social groups may encourage individuals to follow the majority without asking questions. Sometimes people remain silent because they fear criticism, rejection, or punishment. Yet silence can allow mistakes and injustices to continue unchecked. Blind obedience can be especially dangerous when authority figures make unethical decisions. History shows that ordinary people are capable of participating in harmful actions when they stop questioning orders. Many individuals justify their behavior by saying they were simply following instructions. However, responsibility does not disappear when an order comes from someone in power. Every person has a moral obligation to think critically about their actions and their consequences. This does not mean rejecting all authority. Questioning authority is different from opposing authority for its own sake. A healthy society requires both leadership and accountability. Good leaders welcome questions because they understand that scrutiny strengthens trust. They recognize that truth does not fear examination. In contrast, leaders who discourage questions often rely on obedience rather than understanding. In the modern world, Einstein's message is more relevant than ever. We live in an age of constant information. News, social media, advertisements, and public figures compete for attention every day. People are often encouraged to accept claims without verifying them. Rumors can spread quickly, and misinformation can influence millions. In such an environment, critical thinking becomes essential. Independent thinking requires effort. It means checking facts, considering different perspectives, and evaluating evidence before forming conclusions. It means asking questions even when answers are inconvenient. It means being willing to change one's opinion when presented with better information. These habits help protect truth from manipulation and deception. Education plays a crucial role in developing this mindset. The best education does not teach students what to think. It teaches them how to think. It encourages curiosity, analysis, and open discussion. Students who learn to question respectfully and examine evidence become better equipped to navigate a complex world. They become less vulnerable to manipulation and more capable of making informed decisions. Einstein's quote also carries a deeper message about personal freedom. When people surrender their ability to think independently, they give others control over their beliefs and actions. True freedom involves more than physical liberty. It includes the freedom to reason, question, and seek understanding. A society that values truth must protect these freedoms and encourage open dialogue. Courage is an important part of this process. Speaking the truth is not always easy. Those who challenge popular opinions may face criticism or opposition. Yet many of history's most respected individuals demonstrated the courage to stand by evidence and principles even when doing so was unpopular. Their willingness to question authority often paved the way for progress and positive change. The quote reminds us that truth is not determined by rank, status, or power. An idea does not become correct simply because it comes from an authority figure. Likewise, a question does not become invalid because it comes from an ordinary person. Truth must be evaluated on the basis of facts, logic, and evidence. This principle is fundamental to justice, science, and democracy. Ultimately, blind obedience to authority is the greatest enemy of the truth is a call for responsibility. It challenges individuals to remain thoughtful, informed, and courageous. It encourages people to respect authority while maintaining their ability to think independently. It reminds us that progress depends on those who are willing to ask questions and seek understanding. The lesson is timeless. Truth flourishes where curiosity is encouraged, where evidence matters, and where people have the courage to think for themselves. When individuals abandon critical thinking and follow authority without question, truth becomes vulnerable. But when people remain committed to inquiry, honesty, and independent judgment, truth has the opportunity to prevail. And that is the enduring wisdom behind Einstein's powerful words, a reminder that the pursuit of truth requires not blind obedience, but thoughtful questioning, intellectual courage, and a commitment to understanding the world as it truly is.